If I sound terrible, it's partly because I am sick and largely because the situation in Nigeria currently is extremely unacceptable and disgusting to say the least. Just 1 month, November 2025, there has been two major abductions and kidnappings in schools and churches in the northern and central parts of Nigeria. And the only bright side to this terrifying situation is the fact that the crisis is so grand that it's garnered some international attention. And hopefully, this lights a fire up under the asses of the Nigerian government. But so far, the issue remains largely terrible. The issue continues to spiral, and I'm just going to talk about it and give my 2 cents. The last major abduction and kidnapping crisis that occurred in Nigeria was back in 2014, which entailed the kidnapping of 276 schoolgirls by Islamist terrorist group Boko Haram. This situation garnered international coverage, which prompted the Nigerian government to act. However, not all the girls were eventually rescued. Now, fast forward to 2025, we are struggling with more abduction, and the Nigerian government has refused to take proper action to mitigate these crisis. Over 300 students and teachers were kidnapped from a school in Papiri, Niger State. And in the same month, over 38 individuals were kidnapped by bandits in a church in Kwara State, leaving 3 churchgoers dead. If you're an outsider, if you're somebody who wasn't Nigerian looking into this issue, you'd be like, what the hell is going on in your country? Why are people getting abducted left to right? Well, the situation has an underlying issue, which is extreme poverty in the nation. People are struggling, and this leads to bandits doing terrible, terrible, terrible things like abducting women, children, and innocent church goers. It's gotten so bad that there are reports of bandits coming online on TikTok Live to brag about their doings and to demand money from the government. Because the Nigerian government lately has proven so ineligible to protect its citizens that bandits have the gall, the effrontery to go on TikTok lives and brag and demand ransom money from the government. The situation has gone out of hand and it's going to a point whereby the country is barely livable. Kidnappings have skyrocketed and abductions have become a thing of the norm. And this should not be the case. This should not be the case whatsoever. Nothing tangible is being done. There's no security because police officers aren't getting paid enough. The people cannot find jobs. And this indirectly gives rise to heinous crimes like these abductions and kidnappings because the bandits and the Islamist groups are using these kidnappings to demand ransom from the government, right? They're using it as a means to earn money, which is insane, which is an insanity to think about. As a governing body, the protection and safety of your citizens should be your absolute priority. But because we've failed in so many aspects of society, so many aspects of infrastructure, so many aspects of economic development, people have resorted to using human beings as a means to get paid. It's absolutely crazy. The rise of ransom kidnapping, ransom killing, banditry, abductions, and kidnappings is directly as a result of the economic state of the entire nation. Nothing works in the country, nothing. If you're low to middle class, you're basically cooked. Nothing's going to work for you. If we're going to put an end to this kidnapping, we have to sort out the root problem, which is the terrible economic state of the entire nation, which also stems from the long-lasting corruption of the government. The Nigerian government has to be one of the most corrupt governments in the world because we have the natural resources to pull ourselves out of this economic crisis. But because of the corruption that is so deeply embedded in the government and the people in general, to be honest, we have not seen any economic growth in decades. And now, because the issue has festered for so damn long, we are seeing a spiral in heinous crimes. Like these bandits are going so far to abduct kids to demand ransom money from the government of an entire country. Just let that sit for a little bit. That's insane. And I'm just sitting here wondering what could be done about it. And I guess the only good news really is the international coverage that this is getting, because hopefully it'll light some fire under the butt of Nigerian government and prompt them to act accordingly. And something needs to be done, whether it be international intervention, and perhaps even Donald Trump could invade. At this point, it might be the saving grace because the situation is far too dire, for there not to be some intervention of some sort. And I guess as average people, as regular people, we just have to lend our voices and say something about the issue because nothing will be done. I don't even think there's been a statement from the president of the country regarding this issue. I don't think he said anything yet. Any other first world country, and this would be a major crisis. But in Nigeria, it's almost like it could be swept under the rug. Honestly, in the country, kidnapping and abduction is almost a business model. Ransom kidnappings is at an all-time high because people have very limited means to survive. So they resort to extreme, heinous crimes to get by. So I do blame the Nigerian government. I do blame the corrupt officials. I do blame all the acts of embezzlement for decades. And it's high time that we actually sit back and figure out how to sort ourselves out. Otherwise, it's only gonna get worse from here. How does it end? Anyways, I just want to come on here and yap about that for a little bit. I was gonna film a video today because I am indeed sick, but I had to shed some light and share my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help a ton. And I hope to see you on the next one. Peace, love, and safety. Goodbye.